Renee Noor, model, creative director, founder of Global Women Wealth Warriors, Wellness Hub, and GW3 Magazine. I dedicated my life and devoted my career into helping women and girls to achieving their goals. I've been passionate about empowering women and enriching men. This opportunity in working with the Global Women Wealth Warriors have afforded me the pleasure of traveling outside of the country to be a support unit, most importantly, to help impact and change lives. Our ultimate purpose is to help others to become whole from finance, spiritual, mental, as well as physical. We know there are challenges and obstacles to get you to the next level. However, it's time for you to level up, boss up, and welcome to Power to Soar. Hello, 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 hello. Oh my goodness, guys. We are officially live right now. And whether you're in the Clubhouse or whether you're right there on the YouTube, as well as right there on Facebook, we are officially live with the GW3 Talk Show. That's right. I'm Renee Noor. I'm the proud founder of the Global Women Wealth Warriors, as well as the Global Society. And guys, today is a special day. Not only is it a special day, I like to thank everybody that's right there in the Clubhouse. Oh my goodness. Let's go ahead on and put some amazing green hearts in the chat for Miss Janet Alvarado, alongside with the live people that's right there in the Clubhouse. And if I interrupt the show that was happening right there, join us right now on YouTube. Click on that link up at the top of the page, so therefore you can see today's episode. You know, not only is it important for us to have gratitude, but today is a special day. Today is a day that focuses on the differences to embrace inclusion. That's what today's gratitude is about, you know. Grateful to have individuals around the world. And we already know everybody have their own unique talents as well as their own unique gifts. But today, my goodness, we have not only three phenomenal women that's joining us today. One is one of our chairwomen that's right there in California. She automatically resonates with so many worldwide. You know, she holds the champion, that's right, the champion title right there in California. And just to see her with her incredible gifts, that's our very own Deborah Vick. And then we have some surprise guests that's joining us. So if you're on the Clubhouse right now, let's make sure we share out the space. Let's make sure we get more people in here, because we want to ensure that this presentation today, it can really connect you with these mind, body, and soul phenomenal women that we have with their regal strength. They have regal strength indeed. The other two, not only is the one and only Clubhouse voice, Miss Savannah. Oh my goodness. I haven't had the opportunity of connecting with her in a very long time. So give us a great joy to have her here. And then also we have an interview with Miss Arita. So without further ado, let's bring up our very own Miss Deborah Vick. Everybody, please, let's go ahead on and flash your mics. Let's go ahead on and put some green hearts in the chat for our Deborah Vick. Hey, beautiful. How are you doing today? You look incredible.
I am doing absolutely wonderful. I am just really excited to be here to share my story, but more importantly, to celebrate these amazing women that are making change. And they're doing it with so much power and so much love and so much compassion. And both in their own right have just inspired me so much, because I see how they've taken challenges and they face some serious challenges, turning that around and not only empowering themselves, but empowering our communities and growth and education and awareness and doing it with love. So I am really excited to be here today and to help share some of these stories.
How
are you?
I'm doing incredible, incredible, incredible. Can you all hear us very well? You know, I always like to say, like how Janet said, I love technology and technology loves us. Whenever we feel as if we have a little bit of things going on, guys, if you can hear us, please put some green hearts in the chat. Make sure you put some green hearts in the chat right there. Okay, we got Crystal Van. She's like, yes, we can hear you guys. Awesome. She said, hey, Deborah. Oh my goodness, they love you. Oh my goodness. Guys, today is a powerful day. We even have Miss Jackie over there in Chi-Town says, great morning, great morning. Oh my goodness, guys. We have some viewers that's watching us right there on Facebook. So again, whether you're on Facebook, you're on YouTube, you're right there in the clubhouse, let's make sure we share this space out. You know, we're going to be having a really deep conversation with individuals, like you said, not only they're empowering their communities, they're not using any of their, I had this conversation with you the other day. You know, I particularly don't like to hear the word disabled because there's no such thing. You know what I say by that? I say you all have the abilities and assets to do whatever you want to do. And that's one of the gifts that we have, because everyone in this world today that we're in, that's it. We have to always look at ourselves and what are my unique gifts that I have? How am I shining and how am I showing up to keep on giving grace to the space? You know, Deborah, you truly have a unique story, and I know if you can just enlighten us a little bit more about your journey. You know, you have right now you claimed the crown in California. You are a mother as well as a beautiful wife, and you constantly keep giving so much more of yourself. You know, you give me so much inspiration just looking at you every day. But you give me such a big smile around my heart because you know how to keep on paying it forward for others. What gives you your adrenaline? Share with us. What is it? What makes you grind the way you do, Deborah?
So thank you so much, by the way. I usually like to say it's my stubbornness that keeps me going. I do face numerous challenges. We'll just put it that way. I have many conditions and rare diseases and so forth. But I believe in continuing to push forward. It's why forward rolling is my handle in a lot of spaces, because no matter what happens, we have that ability to choose to either sit there and do nothing, or choose to take our experiences and take it out on the streets of the clubhouse or in the communities and make that difference. And that's what I choose. I choose to make a difference for the greater good.
Well, I appreciate you making that decision, Deborah. One of the things they're saying is a little bit of echo, so maybe we could work on fine tuning that. Again, we love technology and technology loves us. That's what that's what Janet would say. So if we can work on that, that would be awesome. But like you said, you made a decision. You choose to live the life that you know that will keep you happier and also that keep you thriving. So let's do this. Let's bring up some of our other guests as well. Okay, Deborah, let's do this because when we came up with today's message, you know, not only did we want to make sure we were able to connect with those, also with those superpowers, I call them the superhuman powers, but also with phenomenal women that's been also trailblazing right here on the clubhouse. You know, so we like to take these relationships from the clubhouse into your home right there, wherever you may be. Our first beauty. Oh my goodness, guys. Not only did I have an opportunity of being in her rooms many late nights, okay, she has been able to impact lives all around the globe. She's a TEDx speaker alongside with a coach. She's an illness warrior. That's right, a chronic illness warrior. She started her career in modeling and acting, and she is still trailblazing throughout the world. She is so dedicated, and she is grateful for being able to lead feature movies. She leads different parts in movies alongside with talk shows. She's in publication, and I just love how she keeps on thriving as well as showing up, even with her amazing gift. And I call that a gift, okay? Because sometimes when we start wrapping around the negative around it, we start looking at it as something ill. But it's really not. I look at it as a gift, because if it wasn't because of the gift that she has, we wouldn't be able to know just how strong she is, just how her regal strength stands out. Miss Savannah, she works everywhere. Every time I look up on the internet, come on, she's everywhere. And she knows how to pour her energy into this space that we call life. So without further ado, I've had the pleasure of being in one of her rooms, Deborah. And this room, my goodness, it would go overnight. And then when I wake up in the morning, I'm like, is that still Savannah's voice? It was still Savannah's voice. So without further ado, let's bring up the beauty, Miss Savannah, to the stage with us, Miss Savannah Dova. How are you doing today, Savannah? Look at you.
Hello! I am so excited and so honored to be here with you, beautiful Renee, and with you, Deborah. I am just so excited. And I think that this is so important, what you're doing here, Renee. You know, I know that you've been working so hard and so tirelessly to make sure that you get the message out. And I'm just so grateful beyond words to be a part of it. So thank you so much for having me today.
Well, you know, I'm grateful to have you as well. You know, when we got that, yes, I can make it. Oh my goodness, you just don't know how my heart just lit up. You know, you have really impacted the lives of so many women right on the clubhouse. And now to see you turn up and you electrify even more households with your energy as well as with your heart. And I just love the fact that you are that lifestyle brand. So, Savannah, please share with us about your story. Let them know exactly who you are. And I'm just so proud that you're here with us today, beauty.
Thank you so much again, Renee. And yeah, you know, so I had a little bit of a crazy chaotic journey. I knew from a really young age. So I'll start at the beginning. I knew from a really young age that I always wanted to inspire other people. I knew that for a fact. And I got into modeling a little bit when I was younger, but you know, as I started to get a little bit older, it was a lot of, you know, going into New York City, and I live in New Jersey. So it's very difficult to you know, to be able to travel back and forth every single day or every single week or every single weekend. So being able to, you know, having to shut that down was a really tough moment, but I was young enough where I didn't understand it too much. So as I started to get older, I was actually really good in school, and I had full paid scholarships. I was going to college to be an anesthesiologist. And one day, and like everybody says, and I know that this is going to sound super cliche, but this is the truth. This is really like, this is the truth. So, like, I had that light bulb moment go off. I was sitting in class, and something in me just ticked. The switch just went off, right? And I said, what am I doing here? Like, why am I doing this? This isn't what I want to do. I don't want to be doing this. Now, I knew that I had a love and a passion for modeling and acting. I didn't know if that was the way that I was going to inspire people, but I knew that that's what I wanted to do, and I wanted to pursue that a little bit further. So as I'm sitting in this class and I have this light bulb moment, all I'm thinking to myself is, oh my gosh, what am I going to do right now? If I dropped out of college right now, like, how am I going to explain this to like my family and like that my friends and the people that love and care about me? How am I going to explain that I just had this crazy idea, right? And I just decided on a whim that I didn't want to do this anymore. So I made a promise to myself in that moment. And that's one thing I want to touch on really quickly, because when you make a promise to yourself, you need to hold that promise. You need to hold yourself accountable, because nobody else is going to do that for you. Nobody else is going to show up for you and do the things that you want done for you. You have to be the one to do it. So I made a promise to myself in that moment, as I'm sitting in class reflecting on my entire life and the decisions that I was about to make. And I said, I don't want to do this. Why am I doing this? I'm doing it because I want to make other people happy. I want to make other people proud. I, want to be the first person in my family to go to college, and I want to do all these things, but am I really doing it for me, or am I doing it for others? So in that moment, I said, I am going to leave and I'm never going to look back. And I'm going to learn every single thing that I have to learn and practice about the modeling and acting industry. Now, mind you, this is just a heads up. I'm 5'1". So, Renee, I'm sure you know the petite category in the modeling industry minimum is 5'6". So I already was literally going against the odds. I already was like, nope, shouldn't be doing this, but I'm going to do it anyway. So in that moment, I dropped out of college that day. I left, I walked out, and I said, I'm going to learn everything that I need to learn. I'm going to pursue this, because the worst that happens is I could just come back. I can always come back to college. I can always start over. I can always figure something else out. But I'm going to do this because this is what my heart is telling me that I need to do. So I went home that day and I started Googling everything about modeling, about acting, about auditions, about casting calls, about magazine submissions. I mean, you name it, I did it. And I just started to pursue it. I reached out to photographers. I started to build up my portfolio. Then with the acting industry, I was just submitting myself to everything and anything I could, to casting calls. I was, being an extra for everything that I possibly could, just so that I can get out there and get in front of the people that I needed to get in front of, and be able to get my name out there and be able to show them that this is what I wanted to do. So I did all of that. I did all of those things. Every single thing that I said I was going to do, I did it. And that's the thing that I want to tell everybody, and I want to remind everybody that's listening, is that the power of your words is everything. Sometimes we don't realize it in the moment, but your words have more power than you could ever possibly imagine. There are things in my life when I was modeling and acting that I said, I wish I could do that. Like, that would be beyond my wildest dreams. And before you know it, those things, I didn't even know how I was going to do it. I would travel somewhere, I wouldn't even have somewhere to stay. And the second I got there, things fell into place. I had a place to stay. I had these connections. Like, it's the power of your words. So fast forward, and I'll go deeper into that, when we get into it. But fast forward, I got into a lot of magazine publications, thousands. I have containers full. I can literally bathe in them. And I got into movies and TV shows, Creed 2, one of the biggest ones, Maxim, Italy. And I did all of these things. And one day my entire life flipped upside down. Like, I always say it in this perspective, and this is really what it was like, is like, the night before, I was the person of my dreams. I was living the life of my dreams. I had this glorious life. And the next day I woke up and I didn't even recognize the person that was looking back at me in the mirror. I didn't even know who I was anymore. I didn't know what I was going to do because I didn't have a backup plan. But I pushed through and I fought through it, because all I did was I would pray. And this message is for anybody that is listening. If you believe in God, if you believe in a higher power, the universe, yourself, whatever it is that you believe in, I believe in God, and I would pray every single day, please, God, don't allow me to go through this another day. Don't allow me to suffer. Don't allow me to feel what I am feeling and to be the person that I have become. And God continued to wake me up. God continued to put purpose in my life at my rock bottoms, when I didn't know how I was going to get out of those moments. God gave me more and more strength every single time. So that's a little bit about me. Is I started in this glorious life, And I created an even more glorious life for myself beyond my wildest dreams, because I turned those obstacles into opportunities, and I was able to turn everything in my life into a blessing.
And you are indeed a blessing, Savannah. You know, just hearing your story and understanding and appreciating the time. Sometimes we always say we got to appreciate the still moments, right? Because during that time when that light bulb went off, you didn't think about going backwards. You kept going forward. And that was very impressive, despite all the other unknown uncertainties, as well as probably even a little bit of fear, because unfortunately, that's the uncertainties that we deal with. But I am so proud of you. You know, 5'1", girl, you're 7 feet tall. I already know, okay? 7 feet tall. Your energy accepts, I mean, your energy exudes your height. You already know that. And I just truly love you. I do. Oh my God. You have been a voice on the Clubhouse that truly have impacted the lives of so many ladies, even in the middle of the night. Because remember, you used to keep those rooms going all night long. Come on now. I was like, I had dozed off to sleep and I woke up, I'm like, and you didn't even sound like you had taken a nap or anything. Did you like used to keep your rooms running 24 hours without falling asleep? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Well, we're so proud to have you here. Guys, if you haven't already put some green hearts in the chat for Savannah, please do so. Whether you're right there on the Clubhouse or you're watching us on YouTube or even right there on Facebook, let's make sure we light up the house with these green hearts because of the gratitude. You heard her story. And that's just the beginning, because we know there's a second level to that story as well. But I'm so proud of you because we keep on seeing you evolve over and over again. And you're getting so great with your reels as well as everything else. And I'm sure you could teach us a thing or two as well. So it's so grateful to have you here. For our next guest, Miss Deborah, why don't you introduce our next guest to the stage with us?
Just one second. I'm actually getting. Are we done?
Yeah.
Sorry.
I'm
also getting treatment, so I'm just talking to my nurse for a second. So our next guest is Miss Tarita Edwards, and this is a woman who had a challenge with a very significant challenge with the birth of her son, and she's taken this experience of a medical challenge, a medical journey, a diagnostic journey that could have been. It could have had very significant consequences. And she's taken that and she's turned this around. Like Savannah, she's empowering people. She's using her voice to be an advocate, to be a powerhouse and change, to work on legislation that will make a difference in the lives of so many people to come. And she does it with so much beautiful power and love and compassion. She's also an amazing podcaster. She has an award-winning podcast in the rare disease arena. But she's also a public speaker. And she is one who teaches us how to pick up our big girl panties and move on forward and make a difference and really be a powerhouse and change. Not sit down and let things happen to us, but make things happen for us. And it is a pleasure to have her here with us today.
That's Miss Sanita Edwards. Hi, Miss Sanita Edwards. How are you doing, beauty?
I am very well. How are you? Thank you so much for having me.
Oh my goodness, well, we're so excited to have you as well. You know, as Deborah was sharing with us about your story, you know, with your impact and just making sure that you're helping to support the youth. That's something that was very dear to my heart. And to, you know, one of the doctors that's out of California, I think his name, I'm so sorry, I shouldn't even mention his name if I can't say his name, right? He truly is passionate about helping to restore youth with cliff lips and things of that nature. And, you know, when I saw, you know, the imagery of the youth that you've helped them to go from before as well as after, you know, that's it. That's it automatically, that you have a big heart, a big heart, a big heart for healing, as well as a big heart for being that game changer in the community. So why don't you share your story with us, Sarita, so we can truly have a true appreciation for who you are.
Well, thank you so much. I am so honored to be here with you today. I am Sarita Edwards. I am the CEO and president at the EWE Foundation. We facilitate resources and support for families living with rare diseases like Edwards syndrome or trisomy 18, medical complexities, and special health needs. This is a space that I found myself in. My husband and I were expecting our fifth child, and around 22 weeks pregnant, we were told that our unborn child had a rare disease called Edwards syndrome. That was the first time that we had ever heard of it. Even having worked in the healthcare space for about 22 years, I had never heard of this disease. And we were told that Elijah, that's our little guy, we were told that he would pass away in utero during the delivery process or shortly after birth. So they basically just prepared us for him to not survive. We knew early on that I would leave my professional career behind and devote myself 100% to caregiving for Elijah. When Elijah turned 2 years old, we decided that we needed to do something more. We were already active in our local community, but the journey with Elijah created some very different scenarios and dynamics. Having had four other children, you knew to some degree what to expect when it came to milestones and what healthcare looks like to some degree. And we were being denied those services because of Elijah's diagnosis. And so we wanted to know, how do we change the narrative in the medical space? How do we change the perspective of healthcare professionals? How do we help families on journeys similar to ours? And we decided the best way to do that was to start the foundation, which is what we did. Today, Elijah is 5 years old. He is in kindergarten. He does have a list of medical complexities. We have about 18, maybe 19 specialists that we have to commute 2 hours one way to see, but Elijah is here. And because he has survived, he is the blueprint for us as an organization on how can we create better health outcomes for families like ours. We were told that he would pass away. So our initial goal was to create bereavement support, but Elijah continued to live. And so we use him as a marker, not just for families on similar journeys, but for the healthcare space. We want doctors and practitioners and specialists to know that regardless of what the medical statistics may say, there are always alternative outcomes, and Elijah is proof of that. So we use his story to shake up the foundations wherever we can. We use his story to shake up healthcare systems when doctors want to refuse care for families like ours. We use Elijah as a story of the why you should consider something different. So that's a nutshell of our story, the beginning of our story. We are super, super excited to be a part of today's conversation, and I look forward to sharing more as the conversation continues.
Well, you know what they always say, it's not about what man says. Oh. It's about what God has planned for you, right? Mm-hmm. And yeah. As we're going to bring Miss Savannah up as well, because we're talking about the power of prayer and the power of knowing that it's not about our limiting beliefs, but when God is in control, that's all that matters. Mm-hmm. That is all that matters. And both you ladies, both of your stories were so different, but yet similar, because you understood it wasn't about the faith of what the man was going to tell you in regard to what you can't do, or even not even allowing yourself to go beyond, that other side. And Elijah, thank you so very much for that story, Serenita. Elijah, at this point in time, how is he doing today?
Today, Elijah is very well. We do have a list of challenges. He is nonverbal. We use a wheelchair and a gait trainer for mobility, but he's at school right now. We have a special needs program in our local district that he was able to attend. He has resources that we receive through the school system for him. Elijah is doing everything that they told us he would not, everything that they told us that he to not expect. And so I think you really hit the nail on the head when you said that it's really not about our faith in the healthcare space. It's not about our faith with the healthcare system. It's understanding that regardless of what you see on the page of a textbook, we know and believe that all things work together for the good to those who love the Lord. So
Absolutely. I just truly love that. Guys, make sure you put some hearts in the chat as well, for Miss Sarita, alongside Elijah. Being in this space of having gratitude for each and every second of the way is all that we have. And when we wake up every morning, we always get that, it's like also something that comes over our spirit and our soul, right? Savannah, you know exactly what I'm talking about with that, because I think, Savannah, you're like a healer over there sometimes. Oh my goodness, deep in the core of our soul. And when you're moved, and I say that just like that, when you're moved to your calling and your purpose, you're over there, that caregiver, just doing what you were called to do. Deborah over there wearing that crown up high, realizing that through her differences, we all can be included. Through our differences, we all can be counted for. No one's being left out here. And that's what I love about each and every last one of you all's story. Savannah, I know you want to pour into that. I saw it. Go ahead, Beauty.
Oh, you got me fired up. Oh man. No, you know what, Sarita? I'm so thankful for you sharing that, because I have chills. I'm not kidding you guys. Like, your story is exactly it. When I first got diagnosed, I suffer with fibromyalgia and levator reticularis, and for those that don't know, it's causes my entire body to feel pain from head to toe, and it causes my legs and my arms to turn purple. But when I was diagnosed, I was the person that told myself that I couldn't do it and that my diagnosis was going to define me. And it took me 7.5 years to get diagnosed, Sarita. I was going to doctors and they were telling me, it's all in your head, you're making it up, you're crazy, you're fine, you're young and healthy, you're fine, just go home, everything's fine. And it took me 7.5 years until I was finally diagnosed, of literally not being crawling on the ground, not being able to walk, not being able to do anything for myself. The things I used to be able to do, wash my hair, even brush my hair, my fiance had to do for me. So I just am so grateful that you shared that, because you're exactly right. And that's the thing is, like, I feel like a lot of times we tend to go more towards wanting to kind of hold anger and say, why didn't they figure this out? Or why didn't this get figured out sooner? But like, what we have to understand is, number one, we have to have compassion for other people, because it may have taken that long, or it may have been maybe a misdiagnosis, but they only know what they know, right? Like, they're going by the textbook stuff. And a lot of times, like, if somebody's not passionate about what they're doing, maybe they got put into a position that they didn't want to be in the first place. Maybe it was, that they felt the pressure of society, of the world, that they had to do a certain thing. They had to be X, Y, and Z, and that's why they're in that spot in the first place. We don't know what other people are going through and what other people are experiencing. So when we have that compassion towards caregivers, towards doctors, towards the medical field, and we're able to say, you know what? 7.5 years, enough is enough. I'm going to figure it out myself if I have to. I'll figure it out and I'll come back to you and I'll let you know what I figured out, so that you can use that on the next person. And maybe you can help the next person save 7.5 years of their life that they'll never get back. So you having that compassion and saying, you know, like it's okay, like we were able to get through this pivotal moment, we were able to prove that maybe they said it wouldn't be possible, but we made the impossible possible. And that is, I have chills, I'm not kidding you guys, you got me fired. Sarita, listen, I could go all day, you got me fired up, girl.
Absolutely. You know, it's the controlling of our minds, guys. It really matters what it is that we're feeding to ourselves, you know, because we can't really go based upon no diagnosis. When you have God diagnosing you, right? That's all you need right there. And your inner strength, your strength can really move mountains from within. You know, we got to really restore that place because sometimes, even that's why I don't turn, no television is on over here, guys. I refuse to watch news because news can be very depressing. And when you start feeding your system or even your environment with the negative energy, guess what? You start feeling depressed. You start feeling, you know, less confident about yourself. You know, you start second guessing yourself as well. So proud of both of you all three of you all, because you already know Deborah. I was like, how many, now I know Savannah, you know Deborah. Sarita, you know Deborah. Deborah is like a superhero with 5 capes at one time, all right? And to see her energy and to see her gift just keeps oozing out of her. She's probably have wow fact, I mean, aha moments every time. I mean, you probably have 6 of them every day because she always comes at, oh, I got another idea. Oh, I have another way of doing something. Oh, and I'm like, when are you going to rest? I don't know how you do it, Deborah, but we're so grateful to have you here. And you know, on Tuesdays, these are going to be the conversations that we're going to have because I love the fact of being able to have the gratitude for our differences, staying included. So therefore, we can help build stronger communities along the way. Miss Deborah, pour into the conversation.
So first, I have to say, I love this concept. I love what we're doing here. And this came about as we were talking, because this is the other part of my vision for my own company, is to bring together people who are using their skills, who've had these challenges, and connecting with mainstream communities, right? Really getting out there and advocating for our rights. And I know, Sarita, we've actually met in person, so that's kind of cool. We just had last month, we were both at a patient advocacy place together, and that was really great to see that. But for me, I am so grateful to be able to be around people who are taking those challenges that we have and turning that around and teaching, empowering, engaging, and creating that community. And I know in my speech for the competition, I had 2 main things that I stayed with, like 3 defects, and then the other one was a 3 C: community, collaboration, and connections, right? Because that's how we're going to change this world, is telling our stories, not asking for pity, just asking for understanding. Because these journeys, they're not easy. I resonate with Savannah. My first diagnosis of the Ehlers-Danlos took 13 years and going to many locations, including the Mayo Clinic. And I was finally diagnosed at Johns Hopkins. But by the time I was diagnosed, damage to all of my joints was pretty severe. I was extremely hypermobile and could not be fixed. But my other disorders, including the myasthenia gravis, that took over 5 years to get a diagnosis for. And I'm not gonna sugarcoat this. Sometimes when you're in that journey and you don't know how you're gonna move or how you're gonna get up or how you're gonna get to that drink, or having to ask somebody in your house, like my husband, to wash my hair or help me go to the bathroom, that's hard. And I know there was a time I had an incident where I couldn't move from my neck down, and my husband had to literally take me to the bathroom. That moment was so scary because I couldn't imagine not being able to do I do with my hands, because that's my thing, that's my mindset, that's my mindfulness, that's my mental health, is all my creativity. It was the scariest moment, even scarier than my near-death experiences, because all that I could think of is, how do I live like this, and how do we change this house so that I can do what I do? But what I love is that each of us has had those challenges, had those moments of, how do I move forward? I mean, whether it's you, Sarita, a caregiver, as a mother, and you have 4 children, right? And Savannah, did your life change everything that you had planned for? And honestly, I've been there too, to learn how to turn that around with positivity and to really be energized to share our stories, not for pity me, but for love and education, and to make that difference. I'm in awe of all of you, and you as well, Renee, the way you all connect, engage, and empower. That's what I love. Every one of you here are empowering me and so many other people. And I do have to give a shout out to Savannah, because we were talking about this yesterday when I came on to Clubhouse. I was very scared to publicly speak again. I know that I don't speak the way that I used to. It's still a challenge to deal with that, and I'm not going to say it's easy, because it's not, and I can get emotional about it. But Savannah encouraged me, and she really encouraged me to do my meditation and do it in the room. And I didn't think I could do it, but I did it. And now I do it a lot of times in a lot of places. And even with being part of the Miss Ultra USA competition, I wasn't sure I was going to do it, but I was always in Savannah's rooms, and she kept on encouraging me. And then one day I declared I would do it in the room, so that I had accountability for putting in that application. I'm so glad I did, because in that journey, I found my voice, and I found the ability to see myself as beautiful. And it's not something I've ever done before. And to know and empower oneself makes the difference, because when we do it for ourselves, we have that power to do it for so many others. And Sarita, I've watched you with your podcast and how you turned that into something so empowering. Even the work that you do with the health union, that's my work, social health network, and what you do for people with their voice and giving us a voice. So amazing. I'm going to stop talking, because obviously this fangirl can talk for a while. I will yield that mic.
We absolutely love hearing your voice, and the uh, the opportunity for us to be able to be together like this. I find this to be sort of like a healing experience right now. You know, I saw Savannah. I'm sure Savannah's drinking tea over there. I saw Sarita. I saw also Deborah. It's like we're having tea, ladies, and just really finding strength for each other. The hardest thing, truly the hardest thing, is having to take care of yourself when it's hard for you to take care of yourself. And that's why it's so important to not only have family, a community that supports you in every way possible. Because even those who don't know, sometimes the ones that seem so strong, they too also need those words of encouragement. They need that support, that extra push, while Miss Deborah's right there with her nurse. That's the most important thing. And I love the fact that we can have these kind of conversations, because we can be real with each other. We can be real with each other. And I think that's what we're missing in the world today. We may not always understand or agree, but let's be more real with each other. Find the compassion to heal relationships, to heal ourselves to wholeness. I find that to be so important right now. We're going through enough as it is in the world. Within our relationships, can we all make an agreement that we're going to not only restore our relationships, Savannah, we're going to be reconnected for sure, and then we're going to do some things off of the app, off of YouTube, off of the Clubhouse, off of these social media outlets, so we can have that human body experience, because that's something that truly helps us when we have that human body experience. I think Miss Sarita, or go ahead, Savannah.
I just was gonna say, I think I was listening on the Clubhouse earlier, and everybody was talking about gratitude. And one of the things that stood out to me was just the varying aspects of gratitude, the different things that everybody was grateful for. I think one of the great things about gratitude is there's no size to it. It doesn't have to be big. It doesn't have to be massive. It's not, there's never not enough as far as like size. It can't be too small. And that was something that I think we all have grown to understand. Kind of like Queen Renee was saying about leaving her TV off because of all the mess that's out there. I think in the Clubhouse, one thing that I heard consistently was everybody has found something to be grateful for. And I think if you're not careful, you can lose opportunities to do that. I think we will get consumed by our day-to-day lives and things that are going on outside, and nothing looks like it's worth being grateful for. But go back and listen to that Clubhouse and listen at the different things that people brought to the conversation. There are so many things that we can be grateful for. Sometimes we just take them for granted because they seem like day to day. Somebody said, "I'm just grateful for waking up this morning." That's something that we sometimes take for granted because we just expect to wake up. But that's a moment of gratitude. So I think it's just so important to recognize that there's no size to gratitude. We can be grateful for the smallest thing, but it could be the smallest thing that makes the biggest impact in our lives. And so just keep yourselves open to being grateful for whatever comes your way. And I just wanted to throw that in there.
We really receive that. And that is something that's important because, like you said, there's no such thing as a bite size, a super size, or even a biggie size. We just have to have gratitude on our number one list at all times. So, therefore, we can keep that sized up in our heart as well as everything that we do. Miss Savannah?
Deborah, I think I saw you on mic if you want to go, and then I'll jump in. Go ahead.
I just wanted to say that gratitude has made all the difference in my life. And I love that, Sarita, you mentioned it could be as simple as waking up. And I'm just going to go back to this one. My son and I have renamed my hospitalizations as hospitalizations because of the location of the hospital. But I learned even to practice gratitude there, right? To practice that gratitude for that nurse, for that medication, or I had a beautiful room, a gorgeous view the last time I was there, and I was there for like 10 days, so that was great. But to be able to find that gratitude for me has been what's helped me move forward and what helps me deal with whatever challenges come my way. I like to say I look at life through the lens of gratitude. And I know it's made a difference for me. So I was going to ask both of you about that because for me, when I started to learn to practice gratitude for the light, for the cat, for my dog being next to me, for my husband being there, my nurse, I mean, I have so many things to be grateful for. And the ability to get up and move, right? The ability to eat. I mean, because that sometimes, like Rita said, you can take for granted some of the things that our bodies naturally do and then not realize how easily you can lose it. I mean, in my case, it's because of my condition, but we can lose our abilities at any time. But we can also choose to take whatever those abilities are, pivot, and find a way to make it work for us, to make it valuable, to learn how to use it in a way that allows us to live our best life today and in our days to come. So I just love that you mentioned it because that's something that lives by now. And I'll pass that mic over to you, Miss Savannah.
Yeah, no, I could not agree more. Sarita, that sounds like actually a great room. It's so funny you said that because literally the first thing when I wake up is I pray. And what I do is my morning prayer is me thanking God. And the first thing that I thank God for every single day is I say, thank you for giving me another chance today, another breath of fresh air today. And it's exactly to what you said. I think that sometimes we get so caught up in just the day-to-day life and what everybody else's expectations of us are, or what we put on into our minds that everybody else's expectations of us are. And I think that we lose sight of the things that we do have to be grateful for. That's something that I preach all the time. I always tell people there's got to be one thing that you're grateful for every single day. One thing. Maybe it's the dinner that you're going to have tonight. Maybe it's the fact that you got to spend more time with your loved ones. Maybe it's the fact you got to go in a clubhouse room. You got to go in a clubhouse room where some people, they don't have internet. They don't even know what Clubhouse is. So having the ability to know that, like, you know what, I might have had a bad day today, right? Like, we all have bad days, right? I've been at my rock bottom, and I've been at those points in my life where I'm like, man, I don't know how I'm going to get through this one. I don't know how I'm going to get out of it. Today sucks, and I'm kind of over it. I want to go to bed, and that's it. Call it a day, right? And the thing is, though, like, every single one of us, that's the one similarity we all have. We're all different and unique in our own ways, but the one thing we have in common is we all have fears and we all have obstacles to overcome. Every single one of us. So those bad days are not meant to break you. Those bad days are meant to allow you to become the best possible version of yourself, and to say, you know what? This bad day ended up becoming my biggest blessing. This was just a milestone and a stepping stone to get to the next level of my life, the next level of the phase, right? So we always have to find one thing every single day. And when you do that, I'll tell you guys, changed my entire life. I never was somebody that journaled. I never was somebody that, wrote things I'm grateful for every single day. And I started to do that after I had fibromyalgia and when I started to become a speaker. And it changed my entire life. Even on my worst days, before I go to bed, I journal about a couple things that I was grateful for. And I think back and I'm like, man, like, that actually was a really good day. That was a really good day, and I had a lot of really great things happen today. So it's little things like that that just make you want to show up for yourself more and more every single day, because you know that you do have a purpose, and you know that there's so many blessings in life. We just have to be willing to open up our eyes to them and see that they're blessings.
Well said. So well said. I'm so grateful for today's program. I'm just, as it stands right now, guys, about 23 years ago today, I would have been walking around with a big belly. I'm just letting you know right now, a big belly with somebody kicking, trying to come on through. And lo and behold, now I have my beautiful daughter who I'm truly grateful for. Today is her birthday. Today is Janae Jasmine's birthday. And I want you guys to say hello to my big joy right here, Miss Janae Jasmine. Come on in here, Miss Jazzy. Hello.
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday.
Thank you, all of you, so much. Yes. Oh my goodness.
Hey, Janae.
Yeah, Miss Jackie. So we have people in the clubhouse. Miss Jackie, hello.
Love you, niece. Love you so much.
Love you. Thank you so much. Oh my God. We are in a space, like you said, the smallest items that we could take, we could truly put in our hands and be grateful for. Just being able to put our hands and close them to make a fist. We have to have gratitude for that, and just being here right now is like probably the most precious moments of our life, because today we hold each other now closer in our bosoms. That's what my mom used to call it, in her bosom, right? And we hold each other closer to who we are. And that's the gift that we have. Thanks to Gracian Jean-Pierre. Because of Gracian Jean-Pierre, we host the gratitude rooms every Tuesday, every Tuesdays. And we always ask everybody to put green hearts in the chat because that's a beautiful color also for the mental health awareness. We know a lot of people are really having issues right now. And even though we've pretty much pivoted from the whole pandemic, we still need healing. We still need healing. And so that's why every day we show up. We show up because we want to be intentional. We want to make a difference in those lives and even in our very own lives. Sometimes you open up rooms thinking that you're going to impact someone else. And you know what you wind up doing? Impacting yourself. And I'm so grateful for God. I literally want to start crying, guys. Woo! 23 years ago, I didn't have this beautiful gift of joy in my life. And now I've learned so much from Janae. I've learned so much from my daughter. And I'm learning so much from you all today. Woo! Okay, Oprah Winfrey, we can't cry on TV, right? But you know what, guys? That's the gift of love. That's the gift of love. And you know, already call us wildflowers. So as we continue on being wildflowers in the world, it's important for us to truly keep guiding others to us to find their calling, to find their purpose, as well as to find their greatness, because this is our responsibility, it's our duty, and most importantly, it is a part of who we are. So I'd like to say thank you all for being here today. Thank you, Savannah. Thank you, Sarita. And thank you, Deborah. Woo! Thank you guys for being here. And most importantly, thank you, Jazzy, for being in my life. Now I know for sure we got live. What'd you say? Go ahead.
Happy birthday.
Thank
It's
you
so
so
wonderful to see you. And I love the connection, the mom, the daughter, the two of you together. It's so beautiful to see. And it's such a beautiful just to see you. And it's a great thing. I'm grateful for being able to see you today and for hearing your journey too, Renee, with Janae and your life with her. The connection again. It's about that connection. It's about that community that we create. And I'm just blessed to be part of this and learning again how to change a challenge into love and compassion for ourselves and for others. And grace for ourselves is something I learned recently. And it's also the love. And in the two of you together, it's a beautiful experience. It's such a heartwarming thing. And I'm always one who loves to see those true, authentic connections. So I just wishing you a beautiful day. And wishing you beautiful, beautiful experience for the rest of your days to come. So happy birthday. I just think, but you really probably don't want me to sing, so.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Yes, yes. You know, I'm so proud of her, guys. She just graduated from college and she's already landed a coach job. That's right. She works, no, right? She's a coach with the high school basketball team. And I know she even have to go to work. So what we're going to be doing is having a quick dessert because she's already had brunch with your dad. Yeah, she had brunch with her dad already. So we'll have a quick dessert as she goes into work because one of the things I love birthdays. And she knows how passionate I am about birthdays, especially hers. And it's just hard to believe this little knot inside of me is now taller than me, guys. Okay, she's taller than me. Oh my goodness. And so beautiful inside and out. So, guys, if you can definitely continue on wishing her happy birthday, that means so much to her as well as so much to me as well. Today's been a special day. I told you all that it was going to be a special day. Didn't realize she was going to make it even more special, you know? And I just want us to continue on being very intentional with our time in this life. We are not guaranteed another second from where we are today. So be kind. Those random acts of kindness is all that we have right now, guys. If someone have hurt you, find ways to forgive them. Find ways to find the harmony back into the relationship. Learn to love hard. Learn to love hard is where we are going to be today. Learning to love harder And most importantly, let's get stronger relationships. Our caregivers, we absolutely love you. You know, we have one of our other caregivers, warriors, which is Yolanda. She's also our prayer warrior as well. My heart goes out to all of our caregivers because just what you all do, you give a piece of yourself every day. You constantly are pouring into someone else, and you need to be poured into yourself. So we're going to definitely do something for our caregivers. So thank you for being here with us. And for both Savannah alongside with Deborah, you already know how uniquely gorgeous inside and out that you are both. Let's make sure we continue on with these type of rooms because I know for sure we can find a healing for more of us that have the differences. And the great part about that, we're all the same because we want to embrace all differences. So therefore we can find the uniqueness and find love again. That's what I wish. That's one of my wishes for today. So guys, thank you for joining us for the GW3 Live. Make sure everyone knows how to get in contact with you, Savannah, alongside with Sarita, as well as Deborah. Take it away, Savannah.
Absolutely. And again, happy birthday. I hope that you have an absolutely fabulous day. And just really quick, Deborah, I wanted to say you are never going to believe this, but before you mentioned the 3 C's, I had a dream I literally have it in my notes. I had a dream on October 28th that about 3 C's. So I don't know if that day has anything to do with anything or if there was anything that happened that day, but I did have a dream about that and I wrote it in my notes because it was such a strong dream. So we'll touch base in the back chat about that. But yes, thank you so much, Renee. This has been fabulous. Definitely reconnecting. We have to do it. We have to do some stuff offline and just make some really incredible things happen because I know that we could do that together. So yes. Thank you, Deborah, as well for, inviting me and for allowing me to be a part of this as well. I'm so thankful for you both. Sarita, I want to thank you for sharing your story and sharing that important message with the world. That's what it's all about. That's literally what it's all about, is even if one person hears the message that needs to hear the message, you're making an impact every single day. And that's what life is all about for all of us. So thank you again for all of you for having me. And yes, my name is Savannah Dova. Again, for anyone that is interested in connecting with me, you can find me anywhere, Clubhouse, Facebook, Instagram. It's Savannah_Dova. For any speaker coaching, you are welcome to reach out to me for that as well. That is something that I do offer. And definitely any speaking engagements. I have a lot of them coming up. I'll actually be speaking in New Jersey, December 4th. So if anyone is in New Jersey or the tri-state area or local, would love to have you there. Just send me a DM over on Instagram and let's connect and let's see how we can make that possible, because I'd love to meet each and every single one of you in person as well. And that's everything. And my website is savannadova.com. You can find everything on there and also my email and my contact information. So thank you again so much for having me. It has been an absolute honor. Happy birthday. And I hope that you all have the most fabulous, beautiful, blessed, and grateful day. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Like Savannah just said, I am just so honored to be a part of today's conversation. You can find me on all of the social media platforms as well. You can maybe do a Google search, Sarita Edwards, the EWE Foundation, THEEWE Foundation.org. You can learn more about the foundation, the work that we do, any type of legislative advocacy we're working on. All of that you can find on our website. Please, like Savannah just said, this is not a reconnection for us. This is a new connection, something that we are birthing into the atmosphere, and I'm here for it. So I'm super excited to be a part of the conversation. Grateful to Deborah for inviting me. Happy birthday to Jazzy. And I look forward to staying in contact with each of you. Thank you so much.
Hello, thank you. First off, thank you everybody who came today. I really appreciate everyone who's in Clubhouse. who's listening in the replays or listening on our stream. I really am appreciative of that. And of course, I am very appreciative of Savannah and Sarita here for coming and joining Ms. Renee and myself. So I love that, and I want to thank you for that. And Queen Renee, thank you so much for what you do and for bringing together for me what has been a dream as an element where I visioned going with Victorious to really connect everybody together to make it happen. So I'm so thrilled to be here. And then with my conclusion, I wanted to add one thing, but before that, I will say I will go back and put in the notes connections for our speakers today. And I'm also reachable on. I have I'm having a cognitive moment. 10K card. I'm also on pretty much almost all the social media platforms. My handle in most places is forward rolling. And I also have started to create pages for the business as well on social media. And that is Victorious, VICKTORIOS_NPO. And I'll put that in the notes as well. But as we conclude today, I wanted to add in, as mentioned before, that 3D effect. The first D represents determination. You can see every person here today that spoke. They're determined to live our best life now and to make that difference, whatever those challenges are. We are determined to use our story to turn around and empower people. The second D is dynamic adaptability. And that comes from my STEM side, but that element is learning how to adapt to whatever our challenges may be, whatever those obstacles may be, and finding a way to continue to move forward. So that dynamic adaptability means always being able to change. And the last D represents dialogue. What we did here today, this dialogue of learning stories, of learning the impact on in each other's lives, and learning how we move forward and how we are taking our stories, as Tony Robbins says, turning your pain into purpose. That's what we did. We're taking these challenges and we're turning them to our purpose and our life's meaning, and we are making our life the best possible living experience, the human experience that we can have today, creating our own healing for others, and continuing to move forward so that we can live our best life in all the days to come. I'm so appreciative of being able to see others do this to help inspire me and guide me and encourage me. And I want to just thank you for everybody for all of your work and all of the elements that you do to show us how to continue to embrace life, love it, and move forward. And of course, paying it forward to those around us. Again, from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much. And happy birthday! Okay, I'm not going to sing. I'm just going to say happy birthday. And pass that mic back over to you, Ms. Renee.
Thanks to each and every last one of our beautiful guests for being here today. You know, it's important for us to take the time to seize the moment, especially with our true intentionality. Gratitude. That's what today was about. But it was more than just that. It was the grace of God that moved us today to find each other, to reconnect with each other. And I will say this also. You have to ask yourself, how are you showing up for others? How are you showing up for others? Maybe this is the time to have a deeper dive with yourself. We are here for a limited time on this earth. And because we're here for a limited time on this earth, let's make sure we fill this earth with nothing but positive energy, positive actions, making sure that we are finding ways to connect humanity with the greatest gifts that we have. The greatest gift that we have is love. That's the greatest gift that we have. And because we can use our energy, our power, our vibration to change outcomes, let's go and build a stronger nation together. With all of our indifferences, I absolutely love it, with all of our flaws as well. Make sure you make the commitment to be a better person than you were yesterday, but also to bring someone with you along the way. It's been an honor and a privilege to have you here with the GW3 Live, and we are looking forward to seeing you on tomorrow for our Lunch and Soar. We usually do our Lunch and Soars from 12:30 to 1:30, and right now we're going to return right back into the clubhouse as we close out this week's segment. I'd like to say thank you and bye for now.